Hi everyone, today we're talking about multiplication facts. This is part one of a couple of videos we'll be doing. Your learning targets today. I can use a multiplication table, I can find factors, I can identify square numbers, and I can solve multiplication facts. We're going to start off by looking at the multiplication table. If you haven't seen it before, it looks a little bit different from the hundreds chart. And here we don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But instead this shows the factors along the top and side, which we'll talk more about momentarily, and then the products in the middle. We don't have any zeros because we take them out to avoid confusing us. And the tens are really useful, and we have multiples here as we go down. We just count by tens. And so there's many ways that we can use the multiplication table, but today I want you to get comfortable using or knowing some tricks on how to use the multiplication table to help you learn your multiplication and division facts, believe it or not. So when you look at the multiplication table, you will notice that along the top upper left corner here we have these two little symbols. One of them looks like a snowflake, and then a comma, and then a slash sign. Those are the multiplication and division sign. The asterisk means to multiply, and then the little slash sign means to divide. That's what we commonly see on the computers, so that's the symbols we're going to use. All right. Now we also have some other things you heard me mention before, factors and products. The numbers in the blue along the top row and then the side left column, those are the factors. So those are the numbers that get multiplied together to give us an answer or a product. The answer to a multiplication problem is a product. So for example, this is how I would do this. If I were to take the factor 7 and multiply it by, let's see another factor, let's get 6. So I chose one factor from along the top and one factor from the side. I know that 7 times 6 is 42. So 42 is my product. 7 times 6, 7 and 6 are my factors. If I didn't know what 7 times 6 was, this is what I would do. I would find the 7, and I'd find the 6, and I would run my fingers along and down until they intersected, and I would find 42. I also mentioned that we have multiples of 10 on here. This is easy because we know that 10 times 1 is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so it counts by 10. You'll also find that as you go down row by row, it counts by 9s, it counts by 8s, it counts by 7s. So we have multiples of numbers in each row as we go down. You also notice that on the chart here we had a diagonal line that was highlighted. These numbers are pretty cool because they are square product numbers, or they're square numbers, excuse me. And a square number is, oh, my computer's a little funny right now. A square number is the product of a counting number multiplied by itself. For example, 9, which I've circled on here, is a square number because 3 times 3 is 9. 3 is a counting number, and it's multiplied by itself. So 3 times 3, and that gives us 9. 6 is a counting number, multiplied by itself, 6, gives us 36, another square number. Also, if you know a fact, you're going to know its turnaround fact. Example, 6 times 3 and 3 times 6, both equal 18. I can find 6 on the top here, here's 6, and here's 3, and then run my fingers along so that they intersect. Notice that I'm staying in the same column in the same row until they meet, and my answer is 18. Likewise, I can also find the 3 on the top and the 6 on the side and do the same thing. Run my fingers in the same row and same column until they meet, and I will find my answer, my product. So turnaround facts. Do you know any shortcuts that would help you with multiplication? There's a bunch of songs out there. But you know that 0 times any number is 0, so we don't have the zeros on the chart. 1 times any number equals the number. So example, 1 times 7 will be 7. If you want to find 2 times a number, you double the number. So if I wanted to find 6 times 2, I could either use my chart or I just know to double the number 6, which would be 12. And to find 10 times a number, you just write the 0 after the number. So if I wanted to find 9 times 10, well, I know that 9 times 1 is 9, and then I just add a 0 after it, which would be 90. There's a bunch of tricks out there. I encourage you to find some and use them to help you remember. And although there's lots of multiplication facts, memorizing them isn't so hard because you already know the ones. The 2's and 10's are easy. And because of the turnaround rule, all of the facts are basically, you know them already, you just have to turn them around. So if you know 7 times 5, you're going to know 5 times 7. But practice, practice, practice. And one way that you can do this too by practicing is if you don't have a multiplication table, you can use fact triangles. And here are some fact families. When we use our fact triangles, it looks just like a triangle. We have a factor in the lower left and lower right. Here's our multiplication and division symbols again. And then at the top where the little dot is, that's where we're going to put our product. So I have an example down below. We would say that this is 5 times 4 is equal to our product of 20. Likewise, turnaround fact, 4 times 5 is equal to 20. Our product is 20, and our factors are 4 and 5. And then actually, you can use this to divide as well. So you do it backwards here. You can do 20 divided by 4 gives you 5. And then another turnaround fact, 20 divided by 5 gives you 4. So these are called fact families, or this is called a fact family. And all we're doing is we're using our fact triangle to help us with that. Keep practicing your multiplication. It comes with time, and we'll see you later.